Today presenting to you the top 5 beginner mistakes every producer should avoid by all costs.
Walking away from you. Now it's all just a memory.
Hey guys, it's Monday. Welcome to the harbor. Everyone is busy. Welcome to my studio. It's about time for me to get really busy because, as you know, I'm working on my album right now. Maybe just one snack. I'd say I have right now maybe 10 to 15% all done. And I'm really lucky today. I don't have to take care of any kind of business stuff. I handled all of it during the weekend. So I can fully concentrate sitting here the entire day in the B studio and just work on music. I'm not going to share anything about the album, like the working process, the state of the songs anymore, because it still should be a surprise. And every time I share something, everyone tells me what to change and how to make it more into what they like. And this kind of confuses me. I want this album to be what I like. So I will just work on it until all the songs are finished and then share all of them with you. Or if I decide to not release them as an album individually, then you will be able to listen to them step by step. But there is still, of course, something interesting I would love to share with you. Today it's all about the absolute no-goes in music production, things you should avoid by all costs. Snacks in the studio, definitely something to try and avoid. And just as a quick disclaimer, of course, there are some rules you should follow, things you should do to get a better result, things that might make your song sound shit if you apply them. But of course, we're here talking about music. This is very, very, very subjective. It's your art. If you feel like breaking those rules, then just go for it. But in 99%, these rules will actually help you to make better music. The first one is so obvious. You might hate me for even talking about it because it's like so common sense. But still, a lot of people get it wrong, and that is actually playing music that doesn't clash. There are rules you have to follow, otherwise it will sound like shit, like this doesn't sound good, this doesn't sound good. It actually might even work, but I hear a lot of tracks where like the vocals are in a different key than the chords are in a different key than the main melody. The drums are not tuned, the kick is not tuned, although the kick not tuned is not a huge problem. But percussions, they have a tone. A tom has a tone. You have to pitch it to the key of the song. And this can range from like slight detuned elements in a song to like everything being completely off and just making it like even someone that doesn't have anything to do with music hears it immediately. So I don't get why some music producers don't get it. I get a ton of demos and some of them, it's really everything, every single element is clashing, and it's just horrible. Really horrible. And yes, I know there's some people that make like, I don't know what it's called in English, like an experimental kind of music where music rules, actually to be precise, music rules still apply, but not like the common music harmony rules. So it's very wild and it sounds really like off. It's usually just played by a piano, so it's not that horrible actually. But if you produce like 30 tracks and all of them clash with each other, it's a huge mess. So get your music theory right, at least like the basics. And I think actually everyone should be able to just listen to it and be able to figure out that there is something actually wrong. If you can't, don't worry, just learn it, train it. Everyone started like that, but please don't share these kind of songs when you're still learning music theory, because it's just embarrassing. The second one is actually closely related, and it's all about rhythms. Let's say you have a song, you have a percussionist that plays a rhythm, you have a bass that plays a rhythm, the kick is playing a rhythm, the snare is playing a rhythm, the main melody, the vocals, everything has rhythm. And you need to make sure that they all go well together. The easiest is to just make sure they all follow the same rhythm, or two elements having a different rhythm. But if everything has a different rhythm, it's just too much. There's nothing your brain can focus on. It will just sound horrible, make your mix entirely just full for no reason. And having one clear main rhythm that kind of drives the entire track is way simpler. Probably the hardest part to get right, and it's something I still struggle with every single time I produce a song, I think every producer is struggling with it, and that is getting the low end right. Every single song, you have a different key, you have different notes, different elements, a different amount of low end. You have to nail it every single time, which is quite hard to do. You can use sidechaining to try and fix it. You can use EQing, of course, to fix it. But there is one thing you should definitely avoid, and that is having your low end, your very low end, in stereo. That's like actually an old rule back in the days from vinyl cutting. You had to have everything below 300 hertz in mono. If you didn't have it in mono, the needle would actually jump and it wouldn't be physically possible to play that record. Nowadays, like with Spotify or CDs, there is no limit. You can do whatever you want, but it's still very wise to keep the low end centered. I usually narrow down my low end at around 120 hertz to be absolutely mono. This usually just affects the bass, the sub bass actually, and the kick. There's some plugins you can actually use to do this in a very easy solution. They just have like one knob that you just turn around for the cutoff frequency, and then one switch to put it in mono. I will link them down below in the description, like probably all of the plugins I will talk about today. Next up, Reverb. It's the one thing that will separate your production from someone just starting out. Just sounds very high class, professional if you choose the right reverb length. But the most important part is, and it's an absolute no-go actually, to have reverb on your very low end. Just doesn't sound good. If you put reverb on your sub bass, that's just mud. It doesn't add anything to the production. So keep your low end dry. And I even double check in my reverb plugin to have a cut in the low end, to cut away everything 200, 300, 400 hertz, depending on the element, to keep the low end as clean as possible. The next one and the last one for today is about resonating frequencies. You have those high frequencies that just do not sound good. No matter what you do with them, it's the best to just avoid them and get rid of them. There is a plugin called Soothe, whatever, I can't pronounce it, but there is a plugin that will detect these resonating frequencies and lower them for you, kind of EQ them for you. But you can always also just use a regular EQ. Boost the resonating frequencies, sweep through the frequencies, try and find it, and then lower it by a couple of dB. Don't get rid of them entirely because it will sound unnatural, but lowering them by a couple of dB in the hi-hat, sometimes even up to 12 dB, just to make sure it doesn't ring in your ear. That's really, really annoying, especially for club music, pop music that you listen to very loud. It just hurts. So these are my top 5 ones, music producer mistakes that I hate to listen to on other songs. Let me know if you ever got one of these wrong and how you fixed it. And what would be also really interesting is to let me know what are your 5 top music production mistakes that should be avoided. Just leave them in the comments. I will pick some of them and maybe do another episode, like part 2 of this, because I can already think of like 20 more things that every producer should avoid. And I hope this will help some beginners or also some people that are already doing music production full-time to just advance a little and avoid these kind of things, or maybe even like trying those things out and see if they might actually fit and twist music a little. I will now just sit here for the next, I don't know, 12 hours, continue working on the songs, hopefully be able to present them to you soon in a finished version that I actually like and where I can't hear any mistakes anymore, because that's usually my main goal, to make a song I can listen to from start to finish without anything in there where I instantly think like, no, this needs to be different. That's definitely something that throws me off actually listening to a song. So as always, huge thanks for watching. If you're interested in my daily content, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I do daily videos about my life as a DJ producer, touring, visiting other DJs, producers in their studio, sitting here, making music, talking about music, ranting about Spotify, all these kind of things.
Just a memory.